Hi, my name's Isabel. I am from California, Orange County to be specific. Excuse the messy hair. Um, I'm making this video to see, well, not to see, but maybe there's someone out there going through what I've been through and or will go through what I've gone through. But this is about my journey with getting pregnant and what I'm going through right now that I'm pregnant. I have been pregnant 4 times with this pregnancy. My first baby I lost at 3 months. My second baby I lost at a month. My third baby was at 2 months. They were all miscarriages. The first and the third one, I had a DNC done to remove babies because they wouldn't come out on their own. They were just in there. The second one did come out on its own because it was only about a month old, maybe less. I kept losing them. With the third baby, the doctor ran some blood tests and found protein C in my blood. Not sure what it means, but what doctor told me is that the moment that I get pregnant, my blood starts thickening up and my body thinks that the baby's a foreign object, which is somewhat it is, somewhat it's not. So what was happening there, the moment it started thickening up when I was pregnant, the baby wasn't getting the nutrients through my blood, well, through the blood flow, because obviously the baby does feed off some of the stuff from my blood. And that happened. And then this is my fourth pregnancy, which has been a little rough, stressful, emotional, draining, scary, very scary. This is, the doctor put me on Lovenox, which is an injection, a blood thinner that I inject in my stomach every day, to help thin out my blood, to so the baby gets the nutrients through my blood. And it's this needle right here. I do this every day. At the same time, I'm taking progesterone and baby aspirin and my prenatals. I just scratched myself. And that's been helping. This is my longest pregnancy. I am currently 21 weeks pregnant, 5 months. So my story with this baby, everything's been going good. In the beginning, everything was going good. I've been doing my injections. Baby has a good heartbeat. Baby's moving a lot. But in December, I've been in and out of the hospital due to bleeding here and there. They found that I had a subchronic hematoma, which I guess is like a little blood clot around the sac that the baby's in, and that blood was coming out. The good thing, the blood was coming out and it wasn't detaching the baby, because with one of my other pregnancies, that blood did detach my baby, and that's why it also died inside. So that happened. That bleeding stopped from the subchronic hematoma. But then I started having bleeding again in December, and I went to the hospital, and they said my cervix was contracting. It was shortening and getting long. Baby's still okay. Was still okay. So they sent me home. Doctor sent me to get a ultrasound at another place, at an ultrasound place. They did the ultrasound and my cervix was still doing the same thing. I was having contractions, but it's weird because I don't know how to explain it. They're contractions just in my cervix where it was shortening, then getting long, shortening, getting long. And then, to top it off, baby was putting her foot inside the cervix where it was opening at. So they were going to give me a week to see if my cervix did anything, if it opened up more or if it just stayed the same. Because the way my cervix was opening, it was opening at the top, like where the baby's at, but towards the vaginal area, it was still closed. It was completely shut. So they were going to give it a week. Within not even the week passed by, I started getting real bad cramps. I went to the emergency room and the ultrasound tech said my cervix was completely open. So they kept me in the emergency room. They sent me upstairs to labor and delivery. And my doctor came in and checked me with his hand, and nothing, it wasn't open the way the ultrasound tech said, but he did decide to do a cerclage because of the baby putting her foot inside the cervix. He was afraid that by her doing that, it was going to open up and really be bad and cause an infection, I guess. And for those of you who don't know what a cerclage is, I guess it's my first time getting one. I didn't know what it was. It is, I guess, a stitch in your cervix. They wrap it around, like they sew it around your cervix to, like a rubber band, to hold it closed. And they did that. I was in the hospital for about 3 days. They had me on some contraction medicine. And then I came home, which was New Year's Eve. We're in 2018. That was 2017. Came home, and then let's see. Last Wednesday, on the 10th, after the cerclage, I kept having bleeding on and off, on and off, on and off. On Wednesday the 10th, January, Wednesday 10th, 2018, which was about a week ago, I was put on bed rest after the cerclage, but that day I got up out of bed to go restroom, because I'm able to go restroom still, and a big clot came out. So I got worried. I grabbed the clot, I put it in a bag just in case I did go to the ER, which I ended up going. I called the hospital to talk to the advice nurse, my doctor, and within the time I was waiting for my doctor to call me back, another clot came out. So I saved that one too. And then I got a call back, but not from my doctor. I got a call back from my nurse. She said to go to the hospital. Within 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I filled up a whole pad with blood and clots. Sorry for being so specific with all that, but that's what came out. I got to the hospital. Immediately, they took me up to labor and delivery. The nurse sent me to the restroom to change into a gown. I sat down on the toilet to just kind of see what else was coming out, to wipe. And after that, once I stood up, I didn't stop bleeding. I tried to come out of the restroom to wash my hands, and I was standing there in the room and just gushing blood. Something very scary. Then they laid me down on the bed still bleeding, still gushing, still getting clots coming out. And still having clots coming out. And then the doctor comes in. She goes, did they didn't even do an ultrasound or anything. The doctor immediately opened my legs, put my legs up, and said, we're taking out the cerclage. We're taking out the stitch. So she had my legs up and she was trying to take out the stitch, but she couldn't because I kept bleeding. I kept bleeding so much and having a lot of clots come out. So the doctor decided that we needed to go to the operating room where they're going to put me to sleep. They were going to take out the stitch, and there was a chance that when taking out the stitch, the baby would come out. I started crying. It was very scary. They started an IV on me. They were getting me prepped. Then they took me to the operating room and put me to sleep. And I got out, and thank God. Doctor said that the reason why I was bleeding was because the stitch was cutting into an artery in my cervix. So she repaired that. She repaired the tear. She took out the stitch and repaired the stitch. She took out the stitch, and my cervix was still closed. It looked the same from before they put the cerclage in, which I was so happy, because that meant baby was still inside and baby's still okay. I stayed in the hospital for a week, just monitoring to see what was going on, if I got contractions, if I bled, if just to monitor me and baby. I got to come home. I am on bed rest, but right now what's been going on, it's weird because I'm bleeding, but not much. It's just spotting. It's more of I'm bleeding, and it's more of it only happens when I go to the restroom and wipe. And at nighttime, I don't know what happens at nighttime, if it's just because I'm moving too much or the whole thing with laying completely flat. In the morning, I wake up bleeding a little bit more than during the day. And then during the day, it goes away and I'm just spotting a little bit, but it's more pink than red. But so far, everything's good. I have a Doppler at home, so I check my baby's heartbeat every morning and night, just for peace, my peace of mind, I guess. And tomorrow I have the baby's anatomy ultrasound. I'm not sure what specifically that's for, because it's my first time getting one of those, but hopefully I'll be able to confirm the gender. Right now we got told it was a girl, but we want to double check because we were hoping for a boy, but at this point we don't care what it is as long as it's healthy. And that's my story. I don't know if somebody's gone through it or somebody will go through it. And I'm gonna keep making videos of what's going on throughout this pregnancy, and maybe with the ones in the future, because I do plan on getting pregnant again. After this one, I might take a break for a bit, let my body heal, and recover from all this trauma. And then just keep going and have another couple of babies. We'll see. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below and I'll try to respond. And to whoever is going through something similar or has, I don't wish it upon anyone. It's something scary and just not fun. It's that day when I was bleeding out, I got real scared because my dream has always been to be a mom. And being that this is the baby that's come along this far, it's so scary to be so far in my pregnancy and then lose my baby. But thank God she's still in there and she's good. It's just my cervix that's still acting up, and hopefully we'll see. If it is that she decides to come early, hopefully it's past the 24 weeks. That way she has more of a chance to make it. If she can make it longer, be even better, because she won't have to be hooked up to machines. But either way, that's my story, and I'll keep making videos of what I'm going through, my journey with this little one. And I'll do a small video tomorrow of what they told me in the ultrasound. If I forget, I'll put it up as soon as possible, I guess. I'll make one and let you guys know what happened. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below, and I'll respond back as soon as I can. Have a good rest of your day.